early as possible. So let's say, even right from 3, 4, teach your children, those that are girls, this is breast. Don't call it something. It is not something. Let her know this is breast. No outsider should touch it. This is your vagina. Don't say private part. Tell her what it is, and tell her nobody. Any day anybody touches this, let me know. So we can start from there. But when it now gets to proper sex education, I think that should be between 14 and 18.
Thank you very much. Because some people believe that if you start to teach children such things, it's like you're exposing them to the outside world. Is it true?
That thought is coming from religious and cultural angle. You know, culturally, African culture, we try as much as possible to keep so many myths, so many taboos about sex, which are not so. And then the religious leaders too, they are sort of scaring us from, no, don't tell them about it, they should not know about it, forgetting that there is serious technological advancement that even exposes them, either we like it or not, they know about it. It may be from even the source that we do not want them to, but they know about it. So culturally, our culture. Number 2, from religious angles, they share your thinking that we should not expose them to sex education at early stage.
Yeah, thank you very much. Viewers at home, if you are just joining us, this is AM Cafe on Osbc Tv, and we are looking at the removal of sex education from the school curriculum. That's what we got recently. And our guest in the house this morning is Engineer Mrs. Omolara Odeyemi, a stakeholder in the education sector. Please don't go away. Stay with us till the end of this show, so you learn one or two things concerning what it has to do with our lives. When we talk about our lives, we mean the children. Thank you for watching us. Ma, what are the purpose of having sex education in our school curriculum? Already we have religious studies, we have science subjects. Why do we need to teach them sex education in school?
Sex education is necessary. I don't even see it as a necessity. I think it is even compulsory. Let's look at this. Sex education does not only teach them about sex alone. It starts from human anatomy, knowing the body parts and knowing the functions of each of the body parts is under sex education. Then body development. Letting them know that, okay, when you get to so age, you will experience this. Those of you that are boys, when you approach adolescent age, your voice will become louder. Here we grow your armpits, your private parts. Then now your muscle will develop. Then probably when you get to a certain stage, you'll be seeing semen. Then those that are girls, educate them. When you get to a certain stage, breast will be coming out. Then you start menstruating, and your menstruation, this is how it will come. This is how you are going to take care of it, and this is what you can do and what you should not do when you get to that stage. So one, it teaches that. Number 2, it teaches them what to expect in future. It nurtures them to become irresponsible. You know, some people, they are so promiscuous, and the way you see them, you say, see this one behaving like a dog. We link them, we compare them. But with sex education, it makes them to grow up to become responsible adults. It makes them to grow up to be a focused adult that knows what we're doing, that prioritize, that knows that this thing, they will engage in it, but that will be later after achieving this and this. Then number 3, you can see what is happening. Just last week, only last week, we have about 3 incidents of ladies that committed suicide simply because their lover jilted them. Sex education is also part of it. It also teaches mental issues. It tells them, in case of disappointments, these are the ways you can react to disappointments. These are what you can do. This is how you can handle the situation. It's also part of sex education. And then it teaches contraceptives too. I think that is where the religious leaders, they feel that just tell them it is bad. Don't tell them you can use this time. It teaches contraception too, that okay, just in case you want to do it unavoidably, you can use this, you can use condom, it teaches that too. And just in case you get pregnant, you don't need to go to quacks. You don't need to take anything yourself. Tell your parents. Talk to sex educators around you. Talk to your teachers. Talk to somebody. Do not take rational decisions. So these are part of some advantages of sex education. Simply put, it makes children to grow up to become a responsible and responsive adults.
Thank you very much, Engineer Mrs. Somolara, for telling me. It teaches a lot. That's for who wants to learn. Now, let's look at having it in school curriculum at the initial stage, allowing it to be taught in schools. And I know that a lot of the kids, a lot of the students would have learned a lot, even the teachers, because not everyone, not every adult know about it. So introducing it into the school curriculum would have been a blessing to some of these teachers too. Now that our students, our pupils have been taught sex education for quite some time, and all of a sudden, we are asked to remove it from the curriculum. Don't you think there is a reason behind it?
Because of the medium that I'm using here, I'm going to be diplomatic. But as much as possible too, I'm still going to be truthful. Honorable Minister for Education just said, the only reason he gave, he said Nigeria is a deeply religious country, whereby we have many religious leaders, and the parents too can serve as sex educators. Therefore, there is no need of teaching it in school again. I see that one. I find it to be very, very hard and very, very absurd. How could the minister just wake up one day and abolish a policy that is backed up by law? Even if what happens to amendments, he can amend it, he can improve it instead of outright cancellation. And then you don't just wake up and just ban a policy. We have the policy maker, NERDC, National Education Research and Development Council. They are there. They are the national bodies that see to the implementation of all educational policy. You can call them, you don't just ban. You have so many stakeholders. Honorable Minister should have called them, all the stakeholders. We have so many NGOs too that are after this, that are helping in this area. You should have called them. Call them, whatever you think about it that you think is the negativity. You should have discussed it with them. Not that you just wake up one day, 6 months to the end of your tenure, I don't want to go there, sorry please. And you now just say you want to abolish a policy backed by law. These are some of the things that our leaders that they do that makes them seem a little bit. Do they want to finish the youth? The honorable minister that refused to talk when NASU was on strike for almost 1 year. Infrastructural decadence in our education of learning is there. He refused to address that. There is no money for research grants For those that are there in the university, you refuse to address that. What happens to decline in enrollment? Because the aftermath of COVID, many children, they withdrew from school. Decline in enrollment. You fail to address that. Girl child training, you fail to address that. I mean, we have hydra-headed problems that the minister could face other than bringing this one. But I don't want to talk much because of this meeting. So I rest my
You rest
case
your
on
case
that
for
part.
now.
Yes.
Thank you. Now that actually, anyways, I believe that meetings would have been going on because of this.
Even protests.
Just like you have said. So maybe the Honorable Minister will have a rethink on the issue. What will be the effect if it is totally removed from the school curriculum?
Number one, there will be very serious increase in teenage pregnancies. Teenage pregnancy will be the first thing. You will see many of those girls. They have access to social media. But when you educate them, even when they come across such, they will pass it, they will not even watch it. But when there is no education, when there is nobody to educate them, they will watch it and they want to practice it. So number one will be increase in teenage pregnancy. Number two, STD, sexually transmitted diseases, especially HIV, will be on the very high rise. How? During the teaching in sex education classes, we do try to talk to them that when you engage in sexual acts, before you are due, before you are of age, you are exposing yourself to various sexually transmitted diseases, syphilis, gonorrhea, HIV, all the rest. So because of that, even when the temptation comes, they drop back. But when there is no education, nothing, you should know they will keep engaging in it. So definitely there will be sharp increase in sexually transmitted diseases, and then sexual violence. Cases of raping will increase. Some people, when you teach them, some children, when you teach them, they sit down, they ruminate on it. It's them. They think about it very well and they act on it. But when there is no teaching, nothing. So there is going to be increase in sexual violence. And then this sex education has actually helped. All those taboos that surround sex, that's those things that our parents used to hide from us. You know, why we're growing up, you can never hear anything pertaining to sex. No, how, where, who will tell you?
They will even code it.
My sister, let's face the reality, and it affects many of us.
Exactly.
There are many of our age mates that had abortion then, and till date they are not able to give birth to just only a child. Why? Because it is done by quack. Yeah, some of them, they say mix this and this together, drink it. They will drink it, and then before you know it, the womb, the reproductive system will be destroyed. So all these are what this sex education is teaching them. So definitely there is going to be in all this taboo now. Then you will start, and then all the false teachings about sex. You know, students too, they do interact. Youth, they interact too. All these things that, okay, after sex, if you jump up, it will lead to pregnancy. Says who? Yes, now these are some of these things that it appears funny to us because we are adults, because we can differentiate from what is good from what is bad. But these little kids, once they hear it, they will think it will work, and before you know it will go. And then there is going to be increase in drug abuse, sense enhancement drugs. I don't want to mention name of all those whatever drinks that they used to drink, but you hear this bitter, this sweetener, this. Then boys will start buying it, and girls too will be buying it, that they want to use it. All those sense enhancement drugs, bitter, everything, there will be increase in drug abuse, and it will affect them in the long run. It will affect them psychologically and cause trauma. So it will bring more harm than good.
Thank you very much. I see you are really, really concerned as a parent and as a teacher. Yes. I can feel it, but then I want to believe that the protest will get to the honorable minister. So, like I said, he will have a rethink because this is something that our children must gain from, not from outsider. Yes, if you are just joining us, this is Cafe on OSBC TV, channel 32 UHF, and from all the channels that are picking our signals from, we're looking at the removal of sex education from the school curriculum. Recently, the Honorable Minister said, for so reasons, it will be removed. It should be removed. I don't know if it has been removed or not.
No, not yet.
Working on it.
And series of protests here and there. Yes.
I will believe that the protest will bring out something fruitful.
Definitely. Definitely. When you bring programs and people applaud you, you will go ahead with it. And now that you are initiating something and everybody seems to be blaming you, to be hitting you here and there, they will have a rethink. But our leaders will always be our leaders.
Yes, but I pray this.
I don't trust them.
I pray the Honorable Minister has a rethink. Yes, we're talking about the kids. Is it only the kids that will learn from sex education? Don't you think these kids too could go home? The parents who are illiterate could train them, could teach them to one or two things.
Funny enough, do you know issue of sex education really does not have to do with illiteracy. There are some people that are well read, that are well educated, but when it comes to issue of sex education, they don't know anything. Even some adults, even married ones, when they talk, when you bring them home and discuss with them, and the way they treat sexual issue, even some are shy to even discuss it. Even those that are educated, they will even just tell you that of all the problems that is in Nigeria, is it this one now? Let's discuss something better.
Which one is more better than this?
Why are we running away from it? It is part of us. We are talking about something that has to do with our body, our life here. So they shy away from it. So it's not only those that are not literate. It has to do with exposure.
Exposure.
Yes. So these children, most of the time, when they learn, they take it home. They discuss with their parents. Their parents may add to it, and their parents will also learn from them. So reason we said, the Honorable Minister should face real problem and stop this one.
Thank you very much, Ma. Yes, most times we focus this on girls, the sex education, especially we parents. If it's in school classes, yes, they are both boys and girls are in the classes and things. But at home, we tend to call our girls to separate room. You see, don't do this, don't do this. If you are menstruating, don't allow anybody to touch you. I remember when I was growing up and my first menstruation. When I told my mom, I didn't even know it was even menses, a Form 2 student.
That's what I'm talking about.
A Form 2 student.
Highly embarrassing. Can you now see? That's what we're talking about.
When I saw it, I thought I sat on something or that
something hurt you.
Yes. So I just looked at it. I went to the bathroom, took my bath, and then changed my pants. So when I was leaving, my mom sent me on an errand. She saw this thing and now called me back. Said, "What is this?" I said, "I don't know." You this girl, you want boy?
Don't go near boy, so
don't let anybody touch you. Funny enough, when I got to school the following day,
we are in the same shoe.
I was sitting all through that day. I didn't play with anybody. Not
yes,
even
now,
with any girl.
because you don't know about it, you don't know it is normal.
I said, if any boy touches you like that,
you will get pregnant. That is it. We are in the same shoe.
So,
reason I keep saying that the Honorable Minister, even till now, do you know most parents, they still find it difficult to sit down one-on-one
with their children
and discuss sex education with their children. Till now, they still find it very difficult.
And it's very, very bad.
Boys, you said
yes,
most of the time.
Why is it that we neglect them, but we leave them and focus on the girls?
We call the girls. We call them aside. We advise them. When boys are the real culprits. Because only girls cannot impregnate themselves.
No.
So even much of the work, it's not only in area of sex education. I think the society generally focuses more and much attention on the
girl
female
child.
gender. Even when they want to do empowerment, most of the time they empower females, leaving only the males, but we are not going there this morning. So it is not only girls. We should also center our attention on the boys. It is even the boys that will go and lure them. And when the girls too, when they feel attracted to them, the boys, once the boy is well known about sex education, the boy can resist. So we should pay equal attention on both sexes, on both male and female children. But I think more emphasis should be on boys than girls.
Why?
Because they are even the one here that the bulk of the heart depends on. They are the one that are easily moved, not minding their age. Even now, a boy of 17, 16, they don't have direction. And if they have sex, they will impregnate. So we should reach out to boys more than girls. You know, it has been our culture. It is due to our cultural practice that girls are majorly always the focus. Don't go near boys. If you go near them, instead of telling them straight, you can play with them more, but don't have sex now. You will have it now, but you will have it later, but not now. Why would you not have it now? It's because it can cause this and that. These are part of the taboos, like I said, that they use in scaring people and causing trouble for those in our generation. And that is why those our children now, they are more enlightened about it. So attention should be on both sexes, both male and female.
Thank you, both male and female. But it will surprise you to know that some mothers do take their girl child to sex educators for contraceptives. You know, that I don't want her to get pregnant too. She's too frivolous. She's this, oti beju. Ejo eba mi ṣètò fètò sí fún kó má lọ gboyún. What would you say to this?
You know, I said it the other time that the religious leaders, they said this issue of sex education, instead of forbidding them from going near it, you are teaching them how to prevent pregnancy. I said it the other time. So exactly, this is what I was referring to. At times, background matters. Mother that is corrupt herself, what do you expect? And then the kind of people, the kind of class, the kind of society you belong to will also influence how you treat your children. It's a pity some adults, instead of guiding them right, they are actually misleading them. But it has to do with parental background. A mother that is wayward herself will definitely introduce her daughter, but you know, at times, like Yoruba people will say, you come across some exceptional cases whereby the parents will be very, very corrupt, but the children, they will stamp their feet, do what is right, and become a viable member of the society. So it has to do, it is about the mother, it is not about the daughter. Put the blame on the mother. On the mother that probably, maybe she was once a sex worker herself, and maybe due to economic hardship, she's probably using her daughter for economic purpose. So blame it on the mother, not the daughter. The daughter is innocent here.
Thank you. That will take me to the next question. A lot of mothers out there will leave their girl child to boys to take care of. And, you know, anything can happen in the process of teaching the child sex education. What do you say to this?
These are parts of what those that, you know, some class of people too, are against teaching sex education in school. This is one of the reasons. They said they don't know who is teaching them and what they are teaching them. They don't know what they are and to what extent they are teaching them. Therefore, that is why they are against their children being taught sex education from some quarters. And then some other school of thought also have the belief that the more you expose them, the more corrupt sexually they become. They think teaching them or exposing them may make them to be wayward. I don't believe in that. What is going to be will be, even without exposing them. It's natural determination. Some children, they are determined. And this is what I want to do. This is how I want to be. And when I grow up, this is what I want to achieve. Why some, even despite having life comfort around them, they choose the other side. They choose to be wayward. They choose to be black sheep of their family. So, reason I keep supporting sex education in school.
Thank you very much. And to the kids who are being taught sex education, do you think in later life they wouldn't use it against themselves, trying to practicalize what they are taught the other way around? When they say, don't do this, or if we do it, there are some kids like that.
Like I said, sex education is not the way most people view it. It's not just about having set of students in a place and you start telling them that if you want to have sex, go and buy condom, go and do. No, it's not like that. From the angle, from the way you even bring it up, first teach them about their body parts, from there to body development, and then to now talk about sexuality. Already they are familiar with the terrain. So when you now tell them that, and when talking about sex education, it's not that they are telling them the ills, the disadvantages, the problem associated with premarital sex. Yes, that's what they are telling them, that look, it's not only about getting pregnant alone. You can contract diseases and cut short your life. You may not even die once. You may suffer endlessly from diseases that you're likely to contract. You have to be very careful. They point out all these things. So it's not just, sex education is not just about sitting them down and telling them that, okay, this is how you do it. When we say contraceptive is just like, say, a subtopic, not even a whole topic, a subtopic. Sex education mostly preaches abstinence, that abstain, don't go near sex. That is that's the first one. Then the second type is abstain, and then they treat protection. You know why? Just in case, our children now, if you teach them that abstain, do not go near it, if maybe human will always be human. Let us face the reality. Even those of us that are adults, are we saints? So even if by chance, probably, it's going to happen, then the second type of sex education, that is abstinence with protection. They treat them, abstain. But in case something is just about to happen, you can protect yourself. This way, this way, this way. Then number 3 is now contraceptive. That you can use this, you can use those of you that are male, these are what you can do to prevent impregnating ladies. Those of you that are gays, these are what you can do to prevent getting pregnant. So it is not just, so therefore, saying that teaching them sex education may make them to become wayward adults or lead them into being promiscuous in life. No, it is not, because they don't just teach that this is it's all about sex. No, it's not all about sex.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mrs. Omolara Odeyemi. I enjoyed you this morning very much. Thank you for educating us,
You are most
for opening
welcome.
our eyes to a lot of things.
You're welcome.
Yes, to the children, what would you say to them when they are being taught sex education?
The first thing, they should stay focused. They should know what they want in life. Do you know once you have your goal, your aspirations, when you now see people that teaches you, that puts you through, that for you to achieve your goals, your objectives in life, these are the ways you can take. And these are the do's, these are the don'ts. You'll be happy, you'll gladly take to it. So, to the girls, they should try as much as possible. Like I used to tell girls that are mine. All my children are boys, I have no daughter. But all girls in my school are my daughters. So like I used to tell them, I've never seen a boy that impregnates a girl and they will now ask the boy to leave the school. No, it is the girl that we have always been paying, right? Girls have always been, the female gender has always been paying right from the time immemorial. So any wayward hearts, you will pay. Eventually, the guy will become somebody in life and you will have yourself to blame. So get shy. They should stay focused. Yes.
And the parents?
Parents,
And guidance.
the guidance, we try as much as due to economic hardship. Most of us were always very, very busy, extraordinarily busy. But we try as much as possible. We put our children in quality a school. We give them good food. What about spending qualitative time with them? So we should try as much as possible as parents to spend time with our children. Sit down with them and talk to them, make them our friends so that they can trust us enough whenever there are issues to tell us, not outsider that will lead them astray.
And the government?
Okay, I will still say something.
Please go ahead.
All right. So, the government should try as much as possible. There is something that the government doesn't understand.
Which is?
Because they are the one that have those bodies in place. Therefore, honorable ministers, honorable commissioners, chairman of local government, they feel they can just wake up one day and discard them and do as they like with the policies. No, policies that are backed up by law, you don't just wake up one day and discard them. Improve on them. Make improvements. Make amendments. Stop politicizing everything. Let our lives of our youth, let it matter most to you. Everything should not be about politics.
Thank you very much, Engineer Mrs. Omolara Odeyemi, for coming on the show this morning. Well, thank you so much. On behalf of the Director of TV Services, Alasno Yebayo, we appreciate you. And on behalf of the producer of the show, Olushola Ogunleye, we say thank you. On behalf of the crew, we thank you so much for creating time, out of no time, to come to this morning's show, AM Cafe on OSBC TV. Thank you so much for educating us this morning.
You're most welcome. And thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And to all of you out there, we have listened to her, we have watched her. To the children, please stay focused. To the parents, ask questions. Be the children's best friend. And to the government, please listen to us. And to all of us, let us take sex education to the next level so that our society can be modest. Good morning.
Awoni, and it's 2-0.
Thanks to a goal and an assist from Taiwo Awoniyi, Union Berlin picked up another 3 points at Bremen and are proving to be the surprise team of the season.
Union Berlin in their fairy tale season.
The club from the German capital is currently in 5th place, just 1 point behind Borussia Dortmund. Max Kruse arrived at the beginning of the season, and his goals propelled the Berliners towards the upper echelons of the league. He's currently out injured, and now another newcomer is following in his footsteps. 23-year-old Taiwo Awoniyi is already in his 3rd season in Germany, on loan from Liverpool. After a spell at FSV Frankfurt, the Nigerian forward played for Mainz last season.
This is dangerous. Awoniyi's there. Awoniyi scores.
It was to remain his only goal for the 05ers, but this season he could now make his big breakthrough with Union. Awoniyi's already notched up 5 goals, and they've all come in the last 7 match days. See for yourself. Here are all of his goals so far this campaign.
Awoniyi, his first goal for Union Berlin, and it was one of those simple goals, a simple ball, it wasn't closed down, and he did what he had to do.
Another wonderful morning to you, sport fans, and welcome to Sport on Osbc TV. There we are, Kibale Shubomata, Adegoton is my name. Welcoming you on board. Of course, with the Super Eagles of Nigeria taking on World Cup bound Portugal in an international friendly match, 7:45 p.m. today. What is the hope of the Super Eagles? Having lost 3 consecutive friendly matches, will this be the 4th consecutive match Osbc will lose as far as friendly matches is concerned? Well, Novak Djokovic has been given the permission, or the ban has been lifted on him to participate as far as Australian Open is concerned. He will be able to participate in next year's Australian Open, which happens to be the first Grand Slam of the year. Remember all the saga that led to him being deported from Australia earlier this year. Of course, well, with the permission of the new government, he will be able to participate as far as Australian Open is concerned. And yes, talking about international friendly matches, so many World Cup teams have participated as far as what friendly matches is concerned. Yesterday, Argentina defeating the opponent by 5 goals, and Germany pipped Oman 1-0 in that encounter. Well, so many friendly matches were decided yesterday, but Robert Lewandowski has been under 3-match ban by La Liga for his red card against Osasuna in that 2-1 win of Barcelona. We'll see how things pans out. I'm not alone in the studios this morning. Shion Omolola joins me in the studios. Good morning and welcome on board.
Yeah, good morning, It's nice to be back on the show this morning. You know, a lot happened as far as our sports is concerned, but the biggest one is that the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be playing against World Cup bound Portugal. For Portugal, it's a very good friendly match for them, simply because they will be playing, as far as the World Cup is concerned, and they are playing against an African opponent in Ghana. Yeah, Ghana, they happen to be in the same group with Ghana. So playing against Nigeria, they see it as a top-notch friendly game for them, simply because they will get to know how we play as far as African football is concerned, how we play as far as West African football is concerned. Apart from the fact that we are all Africans, the Ghanaians are West Africans, Nigeria, we are also West African country. So playing against Nigeria, I think it's a very good one for them, simply because they will get to know how our West Africa teams are played, and they will get to know how African teams are played. So it's going to be a very nice friendly game for the Portuguese team. And for Nigeria, it's also going to be a great friendly game for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, testing ourselves against one of the best countries as far as world football is concerned, not just in Europe, one of the best in the world. Because for me, if you look at the latest FIFA ranking, you see them in the first 7 or first 8 as far as the latest FIFA rankings are concerned. So definitely it's a very good one for Nigeria, playing against that kind of opposition in Portugal. Though Cristiano Ronaldo will not be playing for them, because we learned that
Victor Osimhen will not be playing too.
No, Osimhen will not be playing, and Nigerians are not happy that Osimhen has actually snubbed that friendly game, simply because we won't be playing as far as.
Did this not be friendly game, or it was reported that he was injured? That was what Napoli said.
Yes, Napoli said he was injured. Napoli did not want him to play simply because he's not going to be playing at the World Cup. You know, he's their top striker as we speak right now, scoring the goals. You know, like some people are saying, Oshe and Shishelo, you understand? So he's doing well. Napoli don't want him to get injured. They don't want him to be out at all. So they want him to still be fresh. Staying at home, not playing.
It's certain Christopher and Kuku went to the camp of the France national team, got injured during training, so there's nothing that cannot
happen. Yes, and so if you look at Napoli's point of view, you'll have to agree with them. It's just a friendly game. Any player can play, any player can decide not to play. So for Napoli, I don't want to blame Napoli for not allowing, for telling us that he is injured. If they say he's injured, definitely he's injured. They are the ones that are paying his salaries, they are paying his wages. He plays more for them than for Nigeria because they play week in, week out. How many times are they playing in Nigeria? So, you know, they have everything working well for them in Napoli to win the Scudetto this season. So they don't want their star man to get injured. So they are doing well for themselves. They are doing well for Osimhen as well because if he gets injured, they might not win the league again. And if they don't win the league, Osimhen will not also win the league. So that's just that. For Osimhen will not be playing, and Cristiano Ronaldo will also not be playing. We learned that he has one illness. I'm not a medical practitioner. I would have loved to pronounce it, but it's a jaw-breaking name for that kind of illness that he has. So he won't be playing against Nigeria. I know they are also trying to keep him fresh for the World Cup because, you know, he's 37 years old. I know my age. All right.
All right, moving on this morning, let's talk about Novak Djokovic from the world of tennis. He was not allowed to participate as far as Australian Open earlier this year, but after every another person don't win the Australian Open, he was not able to participate at the Wimbledon due to the war in Ukraine and Russia as well. But at the moment, Australian government has cleared him and being able to participate in future competition. And of course, his visa that was banned, yes, the ban has been lifted.
Definitely good one for Novak, one of the best ever tennis players to have ever graced any of those courts. Talking about grass or clay, a very wonderful player anytime. Not participating as far as this year's Australian Open is concerned. I
was hoping to beat the record.
Yes. I wasn't good with it because I know we have actually won the Australian Open, but lo and behold, he couldn't participate due to some exigencies, and now he has been cleared to play as far as next year is concerned. Australian Open happens to be the first major Grand Slam of every year, and so it's a very good one. Let's see how he breaks records because I see him going down as the greatest tennis player ever. He still has the age on his side, so he can still break the record set by Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. So he has everything working well for him at the very moment. I just hope that he will be in good shape en route to playing as far as the Australian Open is concerned.
In January, right after winning 2 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League and 2 FA Cup, Gary Kyle has finally retired from football at the age of 36 years. Kyle had one of his best days at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, good one. Kyle, a very good defender anytime for Chelsea. You know, he was a former Chelsea player and he did very well. Yes, he did well for himself and for Chelsea. He's won a whole lot of trophies. For you to win Premier League, win FA Cup, win Champions League, for me, you have won it all as far as the club football is concerned. So it's good for him, retiring at the age of 36. And that's why a lot of people are still giving it to Cristiano Ronaldo, still playing at the age of 37. You know, if you listen to his interview, you will have to agree with me that he doesn't believe that he's getting older. He doesn't believe that his time is getting up. Yes, that is the zeal. And that is one thing I love about him. That professionalism is there. The zeal is there. For Kay, good one for him. I hope he enjoys his. There is no gratuity and there is no pension in football.
We should be seeing him going into coaching anytime soon.
It is what you have amassed as a footballer. Yes, that you fall back on. If you have invested, well, definitely you make it a good one for him.
Definitely, you waiting well. But most of these players just after playing their career, they venture into coaching.
How many of them will take? How many of them no, apart from being successful, how many of them are taking on coaching jobs? We have a lot of players retiring. How many coaching positions have we? It's just like you graduating millions students in Nigeria, graduating them, and there is no job for them. So not all of them will go into coaching, because how many clubs will they manage if they go into coaching? We have a lot of grade A coaches that do not have job as we speak at the moment. This man, Zinedine Zidane is there, Pochettino is there. All of them, they don't have jobs. So so it's not always easy like that. I think a lot of them have actually gotten it right. They've invested even while playing. So when they now retire, they just go back to their investment and they continue to enjoy their money with their family.
I still want to play and enjoy my money to do my playing.
OSBC did do well after winning that NUJ.
That was because I was one of the outstanding players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, OSBC did you players of OSBC well by rewarding you handsomely. Yes, handsomely.
Beautifully and handsomely.
We need to thank DG Alhaji Rashida for as in it was a great initiative rewarding OSBC players handsomely. You know, it's been long I've been with OSBC. That was the most handsome reward.
Handsome.
Yes. Wow. Quote and unquote, that was the most handsome. I'm telling you, players of OSBC have so enjoy it while it lasts as well. Okay. So because when you retire, there won't be any of soccer coming.
All right, finally, we should be seeing Eden Hazard coming to the Premier League. It seems that Newcastle are on the radar of Eden Hazard. Well, anything can still happen in January.
Yes, definitely. You know, January transfer window. Newcastle are not doing badly as we speak on the log of the EPL. They defeated Hazard's former team by a lone goal. That was the last match before going into the World Cup. So if Hazard comes back to the Premier League and he feels Newcastle is the team, definitely needs playing time. You know, one thing about some of these players is that when they are not playing for their club size, when they get to their club, he's going to be the captain of the national team and he's going to play. So definitely if he plays very well, who says that better team than Newcastle will not even come for him in January? I know he wants to make a case for himself at this World Cup. So also Cristiano Ronaldo will also want to make it. We have a lot of players that want to make case for themselves at this World Cup. So I say Hazard as one of them.
I think when Nigeria qualified, I would make a case for myself. But we need to wrap up. Many thanks to everyone that made this production possible. And special thanks to Sheo for joining me this morning. What are you about this? My name Muideen Adeleke is the producer of this program. Tomorrow is another day where you join us for more sporting information. So until tomorrow, I say don't stop loving sports. Good morning.
And it was one of those simple goals. A simple